Welcome to the Elite Podcast Network, home of the #1 independent wrestling coverage, available on iTunes, Stitcher, blogtalk Radio, and wherever you get your podcasts from. Follow us on Twitter at Elite Podcast Net and join the revolution now.
Welcome, everybody. This is Wrestling Heads Radio. This is me, Oscar, taking over this show tonight. And, there's no skits because instead of joining this show, he's at a he's working, but he's at some dumbass Taylor Swift show. And I feel bad for him because he has to work and listen to that crap. But joining me now, I'm sure he's not a Taylor Swift fan. I think he likes what his New York Giants do in the NFL preseason. He's happy that his Yankees were in first place. New York Zone. And I'm sure he did not with all these crazy-ass shows going to the New York area. Give it up for Mr. Tom. What's going on, Tom?
What's going on? I was so pissed I couldn't go to any of these shows. Once again, work comes in the way. And, sometimes I think it's not worth it, but then I'm like, all right, I need money for future shows. But what a crazy weekend. So many shows. Obviously we're going to talk about the WWE shows tonight. But, big shout-out to Ring of Honor. I heard Field of Honor was a great show. I'm pretty sure they sold out. I think there was 2,000 people there at MCU Park in Brooklyn, so they did good, and Smash Wrestling put on a good show as well. So shout out to all the wrestling promotions that put on shows this weekend.
Yes. It was a great weekend for all the wrestling, but we have a lot to talk about that happened over the weekend. At first, we're going to talk some NXT. Takeover, It was an okay show to me. I don't feel like what a lot of people think of the show. But Tom, what you think of Takeover?
I thought it was a really good show. There really wasn't a match on the card that, when I watched it, I was disinterested in it or it was boring. All the matches were either fairly good to great, and that's something that hasn't really happened on any of these takeover specials. Usually there'll be one or two matches that are kind of thrown in there. But kind of each match had a purpose. It also helped that, it was, 15,000 people in Brooklyn. The crowd really helped this make, I think, a really great show as well. The crowd was red hot all night. So I think that really helped it. You had two great co-main events. We got to see Jushin Liger in a WWE ring. We saw two different title changes, and like I said, I thought I don't know if I could say that this was the best takeover one, but it's definitely on par with the best one.
Yeah, definitely. I think we have someone on the other line that would love to talk Takeover with us. And I got from Mr. Eyes of the Ring himself, Mr. Nathan. What's going on, Nathan?
How's it going, guys? I figured I would call in because last night Blog Talk Radio decided to fuck us over and we couldn't do Eyes on the Ring. So I figured I'd join in and talk some Takeover and some wrestling because the last 3 days have been really good, wrestling-wise.
Yeah, definitely. All right, let's just start off with Takeover. Nathan, what you thought of Takeover this past Saturday night event?
Overall, I thought it was a really good show. There was only one match that I really didn't like on it, and that being Samoa Joe versus Baron Corbin. It wasn't a bad match, but I kind of wasn't into it as much as I wanted to be. But I thought it was a really good show. Not sure where I would place it overall among the takeover specials and the like NXT Arrival and all that, but I thought it was a really solid show, and it was great to see a takeover special like this in a different atmosphere other than Full Sail University.
Yeah, definitely. But let's just start off the opening of this show. It started off with Tyler Breeze going against the legendary Jushin Thunder Liger, which always messed up. He calls him Justin or Justin or Justin, but he doesn't say Jushin. But anyway, Jushin Thunder Liger went on against Tyler Breeze. To me, I want to like the comment this match. I thought this match could have been better. I expected it to be a better match than we saw on Saturday. I thought this would be a match where it's just right now NXT, they're looking for a top heel, and you could have had Tyler Breeze, I don't want to say Justin destroyed him, but it just felt like he beat him a little easy. I think there's time where Justin felt like he was on the turnbuckle relaxing, like, come on, you ain't nothing. And I just feel like there's times that Justin made him look like he was nothing. There's nothing that Tyler Breeze shown that, he's a threat to beat him. It doesn't feel. I didn't feel that way at all from Tyler Breeze. I was like a little disappointed into there. If they're gonna go with Justin beating Tyler Breeze, at least make him feel like it was a tough and battle match. It was not really didn't feel like competitive at all. So I feel like I don't know if I want to blame Breeze for dropping the ball, but it didn't feel that way. And if they're gonna give him a title shot in the next few months, I don't know if he really deserved it. But I feel like I said, he could have gotten better, but of course it didn't turn out that way. I was a little disappointed in the match. But Justin Thunder did win the match. He defeated Tyler Breeze. So let me start off with Tom. What you thought of that match?
I thought it was a good way to open the show. The crowd really was into Jushin Liger. He got a big pop, and they were also into Tyler Breeze as well. So I thought this was the perfect match to start off the show with. As far as the match goes, I thought it was fine. Liger got in all his usual spots that you see in New Japan. He did all his usual stuff. I liked. This is me personally. It's because, Liger is so old and he is a legend, but to see him mock Tyler Breeze and then take a selfie in the ring, I liked that. I thought that was hilarious. I thought it didn't really take anything away from the match. I thought it kind of just added it and kind of gave a little bit of personality to Liger, to some of the people that may not be familiar with him, that he is, this legend, but he is going out there and he's kind of messing with these young guys, because he does that all the time in New Japan. He'll mess with all the young lions, and he'll mess with a lot of the younger talent. So I thought that fit in well. I wasn't surprised that Liger went over. I thought that Breeze might have gone over, but I can understand why Liger went over. Obviously, it's a one-time thing. So, it's, probably New Japan wanted him to win and, showcase him, and I was fine with it. But like I said, the match was a solid match. Tyler Breeze got in some good offense. Liger looked good. It's amazing how good Liger still looks. I comment this every time I, watch Liger in the ring, so especially during the G1, because he wasn't on every show, but the shows that he was on, he still looks good, and the guy is 50 years old. So I thought this was very solid. It was a good opening match, and like I said, I was very worried to see how people would react to Liger, but he got a pretty big pop, so that was good.
Yeah, definitely. That was a good comment that you brought up there. Nathan, what's your thought of that match?
Well, before I get into my thoughts, I just want to say, cheap plug time. I wrote a full review of the show for EyesOnTheRing.com. It was posted today. It's 10 pages long, so I'm going to give my thoughts on this about the show on this show. But if you want my full thoughts and more of it, you can go to EyesOnTheRing.com and check that out. But I thought this was a great way to open the show. I wasn't necessarily expecting this to open the show, but I'm fine with it. I thought it was a really good match. I won't say really good. I thought it was a good match. Not the best match, but it wasn't the worst either. I'd say probably middle of the road if you're looking at star ratings. I gave it 3 stars. But the one thing I questioned was the finish of it, because Liger winning, I understand the guy's a legend and I appreciate everything he's done in the wrestling business, but while he does deserve the win, on the other hand, it's kind of like how, like when The Undertaker wins a WrestleMania match, The Undertaker goes away, and then the guy who lost is there to kind of suffer through it and then bounce back. And this, it's like Jushin Thunder Liger, this was a one-time thing for him. And I think it would have really helped Tyler Breeze had he won this match. But, I mean, still, the match was good. I think Tyler Breeze will be fine. It's just I question the booking of having Liger go over. But at the same time, it does make sense to me in a way.
Yeah, definitely. I kind of said the same thing. I thought if Breeze wins, he's automatically a number contender down the road for the NXT Championship. But due to the fact of how he performed, to me, I don't know if they'll go that way. But we'll see what happens in NXT down in future episodes. We'll do with Tyler Breeze, and yeah, let's just see what happens. All right. Next match for the NXT Tag Team Championships. You got the champions, Murphy and Blake with Alexa Bliss on their side, and then they were going against the Von Villains. But the Von Villains had you could say, it had backup plan, and the backup plan was Blue Pants was on their side because you had Alexa Bliss just right there hanging. I think I said Alexa Breeze earlier, but it's actually her name is Alexa Bliss. I just noticed that. Alexa Bliss was right there, always interfering in their matches. Now, they got some even payback, or I don't say payback, but they just got even. This match to me, I after all the matches in NXT Takeover, this is the one that was not that least exciting. I didn't really enjoy this match at all. But I don't know what you guys think, but I can't really name any cool moments on this match. Only when you can say when Blue Pants just kicked Alexa Bliss's ass for trying to interfere. But I can't really recall what's a good moment for them. But I can say this, though. We have new NXT Tag Team Champions, and they are the Von Villains. They're the new Tag Team Champions. So I'm going to pass it to Tom. Tom, what you thought of this match?
I actually had low expectations going to this match, and this kind of exceeded them. I thought this was a really, really solid tag match. It was better than I expected. I liked the whole story of, Blue Pants being out there and keeping Alexa Bliss out there, out of the way. But Blake and Murphy were still working over, Simon Gotch the whole match. And then he gets to Aiden English. And Simon Gotch is, Aiden English is, he's good too. But I think Simon Gotch, his whole gimmick, it's so good, and the moves that he does in the ring that kind of correlates with his gimmick, it's really good, and it's, I think, definitely underappreciated by a lot of people. He really takes it, to another level with his whole gimmick, incorporating all these different old moves. So I liked it, and this is, I would say, one of the best NXT tag title matches that NXT has ever done. And a big reason for that was the crowd. The crowd was really into this match the whole way. And that's what, like I said, if this was at Full Sail, I don't think this would have been as good of a match as it was. But the crowd being into it, the crowd really liking Blue Pants, getting a big pop for her. When the Vaudevillains got the win, they got a big pop. They were into the match the whole night. And I think that really added to the match, because I feel like if this was at Full Sail, per se, they wouldn't have been into it because they've seen this before. But take it to a new arena, and now fans are into it. The fans were into Vaudevillains as the faces and Blake and Murphy as the heels. So that definitely made it, I think, a lot better. I like the title change. I like Vaudevillains as the tag team champions. I think they have a great gimmick going. They're very, very solid in the ring together. And I think their gimmick could work on the main roster if it's done right. But we say that for everybody, and, look what ends up happening. But, we'll see going forward. But I got to give props to Alexa Bliss. Obviously, yes, she's very attractive. She's very hot. We all know this. But she has done such a great job as a heel manager. And I really didn't expect that. When they did the heel turn, I was like, oh, man, she's just going to be another person sitting at ringside, trying to be another Lana or whatever. But she has done such a fantastic job, and she is, I think, improved so much in such a short time, not just on the mic, but I think in the ring as well. So I've been enjoying Alexa Bliss's heel run as well. So that definitely played a good part in the match, and having Blue Pants in there was fun. So I really enjoyed this tag match.
Yeah, like Tom said, it's like I was going into this match with low expectations. I didn't know what to really expect out of it. But given what it was, I really enjoyed it. I was initially confused when they started the match, because when they came out, and like when Leva Bates or Blue Pants came out, it's like I thought that they were going to maybe turn it into an intergender 6-person tag, because that's kind of how they presented that whole thing. But they didn't, which is fine, because it didn't need to be. But like I said, the Vaudevillains and Blake and Murphy, they really did a good job. I'm glad to see the Vaudevillains win the titles. I'm not quite sure what they do with Blake and Murphy after this. Like, they're the former tag team champions, but what do you exactly do with them? Because I don't know if they're ready to be put on the main roster yet or not. I mean, WWE, the main roster needs tag teams, so why not? But I'm just wondering how they're going to translate on the main roster, because even in NXT, they're kind of just there. Even with, like, the music and the entrance and Alexa Bliss, once they get in the ring and you really strip them down, they're kind of basic wrestlers. And that's kind of what I see with them.
And what I really liked, and I noticed WWE is doing it more, not just with NXT, but with the main roster, is I like whenever tag teams have matching, like, gear. That is always something that I've, liked. And I think for so long, WWE would throw together tag teams, and they just looked like two guys put together. They didn't have, the matching gear. So I like that on NXT and SummerSlam, all the tag teams, they look like tag teams. They didn't look like just two guys thrown together. So I definitely liked it. And like I said, I don't know if you can agree with me, Nathan, but do you think that this match would have been worse or maybe not as well perceived if it was at Full Sail?
Yeah, I definitely do. I think this show was definitely better that it wasn't at Full Sail, to be honest. I think if you would have taken the exact same show with the exact same booking decisions and put it at Full Sail instead of Brooklyn, I think it would have been the same show, but the crowd would have maybe hijacked it and made it their own thing, because the Full Sail crowd always does that. And that's what I hate about the Full Sail crowd in general, especially with the whole thing about them on the episode before Takeover, where Kevin Owens had to basically call them out for being idiots for whining because they weren't getting the next Takeover and they were pissed about it, which I understand, but it's selfish in a way too.
Yeah, it's like they get spoiled, and it is ridiculous. But like I said, I think the atmosphere was so much different here. You know, at Full Sail, it's like maybe 1,000 people, if that.
Yeah.
Here you have 15,000 loud people, and it's such a different environment and setting. You know, if the Vaudevillains won the titles, there would have been a big reaction at Full Sail, but compare that to 15,000 people going crazy for the Vaudevillains winning. It's completely, two different scales. So, like I said, in the Brooklyn crowd, they were good. I liked it. There were some, the Full Sail sucks chants. I figured that was going to happen. Let them get it out of the way. But other than that, and you know what I like is that they were into the matches. They weren't just sitting on their hands. They were clapping whenever someone was making a comeback. They were, oohing and ahhing for the big moves. When Simon Gotch was in there and he was doing his moves, they were clapping for it. That's what I like. I don't like when there's silence, That's a Japanese crowd type of thing.
Yeah, and in America, it doesn't really work. Because in America, when you go to a wrestling show, you're expected to, or even when you're watching a wrestling show, you're expected to hear the crowd react. And sometimes Full Sail, I've noticed that they won't react to something unless they really like it. And sometimes the stuff that they like isn't that good. So I think that this show being in a different setting did the show wonders as far as how it was perceived and how it will be perceived going forward.
Yeah, definitely. We have a caller on the line. I think I know who it is, but this caller might just skip everything, go to Raw. But let's put this guy over here from Virginia. This guy always calls. What's going on, man? You're live on Wrestling Heads Radio.
Hi, y'all.
How you doing?
I'm good. How about you?
Doing real good. So what's up, man? What you want to talk about?
This is John from Front Royal.
I know. I recognize your area code. What's going on, man?
Oh, not much. I tell you what, we had 3 great shows in Brooklyn tonight. I mean, last Saturday night we had NXT, Sunday Summerslam, and tonight was Monday Night Raw. I tell you what, all 3 shows, I can tell you this, all 3 of them were great.
Yeah, they all were great. But right now we're talking about NXT, which is a tag team match. But I don't know, let me ask you. So
hello?
Can
you hear me?
I can hear you, but did you hear my question?
Yeah. Hold on, let me turn my TV down. I'll be right back. Hold on.
Yeah. But put them on in a sec.
All right, I'm back with you guys.
Yeah. So, out of all 3 of the shows, which one you enjoy better?
Huh?
Out of all the 3 shows, which one you enjoyed better?
I think I'd have to go with NXT Takeover.
Takeover, oh, that's good. I mean, I agree. I enjoy Takeover. I mean, there was a lot of great matches, so we're going to be talking about in the next bit. So, is there a match you'd like to talk about from Takeover?
Well, if I had to pick one match on NXT Takeover, it'd be Bayley and Sasha Banks for the Divas title. I mean, NXT Women's title. Sorry.
Yeah, NXT Women's Championship. Yeah, that was a phenomenal match. That was probably one of the best women matches in the WWE that I ever seen in years.
Did you all see the ending?
Yeah, when all of them got together, the 4 horsewomen of WWE thing. Like
kind of like a click curtain call.
Yeah. So, yeah, they did a phenomenal job, and I enjoyed what they did, and I hope that's gonna be a great that match. Hope it shows the future of a great, successful women's division, not only just NXT but in the whole entire WWE.
Yeah, actually, I think Sasha and Bayley. I thought Sasha and Bayley worked pretty well at NXT. My buddy from Pittsburgh said they had a great match, and it was pretty much awesome. And however, Finn Balor and Kevin Owens was good, but I think Sasha and Bayley was even better.
Yeah, I mean,
I really also think it's time that when Bayley drops the NXT title, I really think it's time that Bayley should go over to the WWE after she drops the NXT Women's title. Because I'm looking to see what Bayley can do in the ring, too, on TV.
Yeah, some people were saying for months they would like to see her in the main roster, but the question is, when will that be? Who knows? We don't know how long she'll have the title, but we'll see. I think she'll get there. There's some names that won that title are in the main roster, like Charlotte, Sasha Banks, Paige. They're all in the main roster now, so it's a matter of time we can see Bayley go in. If I have to predict, maybe by nearly somewhere around WrestleMania time, she'll probably be in the main roster. So
yeah. Well, actually, I also thought SummerSlam was pretty okay, but Cesaro and Owens, I think that was pretty good, despite seeing how they could do in the ring. I mean, that was a great SummerSlam match. Cena and Rollins was great. I mean, they had a great match, but, Jon Stewart had to ruin it, of all people.
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
And
I know.
Undertaker and Brock, the main event, I've heard people say that this was the shittiest match. Oh, I'm not supposed to say language.
Oh, you can curse. You can curse. I don't care. Go for it.
I think that was the shittiest match on paper. I think everyone said this was the shittiest match on paper. Did I think so? Hell no. And yes, there was controversy. I did see Undertaker tap out, but at the same time, the timekeeper was like, "Well, what did I do? Should I ring the bell? Should I think something was going on. I think Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman was trying. You know what my opinion is? And I don't think it was the Authority that did this. I think Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman were trying to get in the Undertaker's head, trying to make him, pretend that he tapped out.
Well, it looks like to me was Undertaker was trying to you could say he cheated. He fooled Brock, and then and that's like.
Also, however, but the thing I saw on YouTube earlier today was there was a fan video of the Undertaker collapsing again. Did you all notice that he collapsed again?
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that video.
Mhm. And
yeah,
now what happens here between Brock and Undertaker? Do you have them fight at Hell in a Cell in a Hell in a Cell match? Do you have them wrestle again?
All right. To be honest, I'm not a big fan of another match between the two, and I am going to Hell in a Cell because it's coming here in Los Angeles. That's where I live. and I hope I don't see that match at Hell in a Cell. But if anything, it looks like it might go to WrestleMania. Sure. So.
Yeah. And then we go to Raw, and I pretty think that Raw was pretty good tonight. They had the returns of the Dudley Boyz and Sting. I really do think the Dudleys might be returning part-time or something like that, but it's really great to see them back in action. Hopefully we get to see a Dudley's New Day feud around the corner.
Yeah, I'm not too familiar with the Bowser contract is. Like, is there a part-time schedule for, like, the tag team part of it? Like, Brock Lesnar, Sting, y'all come out once in the blue moon, and is this what the Dudley Boyz are going to do? Well, yeah. I have no idea. But
and I don't know if you all heard this or not, but Triple H has announced, yes, ladies and gentlemen, at Night of Champions in Houston, whether you're listening to the Blog Talk Radio on Elite, listen to this on Elite at Blog Talk Radio. Sting versus Seth Rollins for the WWE World Heavyweight title.
Somebody buy me a ticket, a plane ticket, and a show ticket in Houston. I have family in Houston. Someone buy me that because my birthday is a few days before that event. Someone buy me a ticket, please, for my birthday.
I'll let someone fill you in on that, man. But anyway, I gotta go. I got some more callers, more radio callers. Oh, and by the way, I want to plug my radio show as well. You listen to me and my good buddy JD from Pittsburgh on TalkShoe.com. We have the WCW Raw US Radio, and we've been doing pretty good with that. We just finished our 5th episode. We do a Raw preview before Raw starts. It's live at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. We go live 3 till 5 in the afternoon.
All right. That's cool. Well, thanks for calling in again. It was great to talk to you, okay? All right.
Okay. Bye. Bye.
Bye. All right. That was what's his name from Virginia. You always been calling in all the time. But yeah, let's continue with the Takeover. Okay, we're in the tag team match, right? Okay. Sorry, I lost for a second here. I can tell you this. After the match, they showed a vignette of The Rock's cousin, Nia Jax, if I'm not mistaken. That's her name. She
correct.
Is. Was that?
I just said correct. Yeah, it's Nia Jax is her name. I've never heard of her, so, but whatever.
She's The Rock's cousin. She's The Rock's cousin. Yeah.
Well, he's got a million of them, so it doesn't surprise me.
Well, she's going to be making her debut pretty soon. So, there you go. Just to let you know, Hall, Nash, and X-Pac were in the crowd watching the show. All right. Next match. It was the debut of everybody we all were waiting for. Apollo Crews, a.k.a. Wuhan Nation, going against the Perfect 10, Ty Dillinger. It seems like everybody is feeling his new gimmick, the Perfect 10. Everybody's following the 10 thing. So the match was pretty good. I mean, I'm happy that Uha shown like the casual fans who never followed him in the indie scene, showing work that he could do. Like probably some casual fans like probably said, "Oh, another big buff black dude. What he's gonna do? He's gonna be like Big E?" Nope. He does flips. He does all this stuff. I'm thinking he's gonna be now a good tender. Hopefully, maybe if he presses enough, he could be the first actual full black guy to win the WWE Championship. Hopefully. So, Tom, what you thought about that match?
I thought it was a good debut. Crowd was really into Apollo Crews. Obviously, they know who he is because it's a smart crowd, so they know what's up. The one thing, if I had to make a gripe about this match, is that if you're going to do a debut like this, you have to do kind of like a squash. And Ty Dillinger got in, I think, a little bit too much offense in this. I feel like he should have gotten a couple moves in, but Apollo should have dominated for most of it, if not all of it. And it seemed like there was such a long period where Ty Dillinger was just beating down Apollo Crews. And, you know, I think Ty Dillinger's good, and I don't know if he should have been in the position to do this. I think he has much more talent than to do it, but I thought it was good. Obviously, like I said, Apollo Crews, he's going to be huge. He's going to be a superstar. He's got all the tools. He's got, you know, the power. He's got the agility. I was a little, I don't know why I expected it. Maybe I shouldn't. After he did the standing moonsault, I thought he was going to do the standing shooting star press like he's done, you know, in Dragon Gate and Evolve and PWG, but we didn't see it, so I was a little bit disappointed. I was just kind of like, come on. Can't let him do a shooting star press after that, but it was fine. Definitely the guy's over. The guy is going to be one of the most over guys. And you could tell, you know, and we didn't see this from a lot of guys, but you saw when he came out and looking at the crowd, and then he got up on the top rope. You could see in his eyes that moment where he's like, I made it. This is it. Like, I made it here. All my hard work was for this. And I think, you know, I've said this before in weeks past, that sometimes we forget about that. All these, you know, indie guys and guys from Japan that work, you know, years and years to get here. And then to see something like that, it was really cool to see. So, definitely like that as well. Just kind of like a little snippet.
Yeah, you know what? Before I pass on Nathan, I just want to say, I remember in his entrance when he came out. His entrance, his face reaction is like, it's the same reaction where I saw him his debut at PWG. He's like, finally, I'm here. You know, he gave me that same, like the same face reaction he had when his debut in PWG. It was like, damn. I mean, I was there with his debut there, and he was all happy to be there. I mean, I talked to him before the show started. He was happy to be here too, and I remember during intermission when he was like getting his stuff and he head to the back, people were chanting, "Please come back, please come back," and he had a big smile on his face. He's like, "Oh yeah, I'm coming back. Don't worry, I'm coming back," and he did actually came back. So yeah, he had a great reaction in PWG. He had the same thing at an NXT Takeover, and I'm happy that he's there. I actually said in the show a while back, I'm surprised Vince McMahon never signed this guy, because I thought this is a guy with Vince McMahon will really, really like. And hopefully, let's see how he does in the future in the WWE. I hope he has a WWE Hall of Fame career. That's all I want to say. Nathan, thoughts of this match?
Yeah, I do. I like this match, but not as much as I thought I would, because, and Tom touched on it earlier, where you see guys that debut in NXT and their matches are pretty much an offensive exhibition. You see everything that they can do. And I thought Ty Dillinger got a lot more offense than he probably should have. And the only thing that I can think is that the reason they did it was because they also want to establish Ty Dillinger with this new character that he's kind of doing. So rather than just have Uhaa Nation or Apollo Crews steamroll him, they wanted it to be a more competitive, open match. And that's why I think we got what we got. Having said that, I thought the match was fine. It wasn't the greatest match, but it did its job in getting you familiar with Apollo Crews and wanting you to, or getting you so that you want to watch him in the future. And so it pretty much did its job. I wasn't necessarily a huge fan of the match and how it went down, but like I said, it made sense, and it was okay for the most part.
All right. I just see some couple of tweets about Apollo Crews' debut. First, Solomon Crow about saying, my boy Apollo Crews is about to tear it up in his debut, and he's so proud. He was do since day one. And then you have Naomi tweeted that, Apollo Crews is super impressive. So there's some good response about Apollo Crews' debut. So let's just see what happens. All right, before we go to the next match, I just want to say, William Regal announced that that the next takeover will be in, I just want to say, I think it's October this is going on. October I got the date right here. October the 7th. That's to be the next takeover, and it will take place in Full Sail University. And he also said that he's now in 2 weeks there's going to be a tag team tournament in honor of the late great Dusty Rhodes. So it's going to be a tag team tournament, and the finals will take place at that takeover. So we'll see what it is. We probably see more information down the road. So or up and coming NXT episode. So we'll figure that out sooner or later. So yeah. Next match was Samoa Joe going against Baron Corbin. Okay. A lot of guys don't like this match, but I kind of give Baron Corbin a little bit of props in this match. Reason being because I feel like he put in more work in this match. I know we saw most of his matches are like squash matches, like fucking 5-second matches, fucking Goldberg 2.0. I get it, but it just seems like when he wrestles a star like Neville and them, they carry his ass. This one, I don't feel like Samoa Joe carry his ass at all, and he got more, you could say, more as a brawler type feel against a big star like a Samoa Joe, and I think that's what he's developing into. I didn't think this match was shitty like people say it was. Was it the worst match out of all the matches? I don't know. About that. I mean, the Von Villains match to me was not that impressive to me. I didn't enjoy every minute of it, but I just like the way that how Corbin showed some good offense against Samoa Joe in this match. I mean, the uppercuts. He was at one point. I feel like he was taking over the match. So I give Baron Corbin a little bit of props, in his work. We rarely see him in longer matches. So now that he got in a match with Samoa Joe, I feel like Joe didn't carry him at all. I don't know what you guys think, but I just thought the match was okay. But Samoa Joe did won the match, and he beat him by submission. And we'll see what's next with Joe. Maybe a title shot. Who knows? But the guys, the two heels that I thought might be getting a shot, they both lost. And I feel like they both ain't ready to get to that level. So, Tom, what you thought about that match?
I thought this match was good. It was a good, hostile, kind of like what you would see from an EC match. Obviously not at that level, excuse me. But it was sort of like that, where you just had two big guys going out there and hitting each other hard. And Baron Corbin I think he definitely looked pretty good in this match. It's probably the best match that he's had. I thought it was better than the Neville match. And it's weird because it's partly Baron Corbin is getting better, but it's also partly he was in the ring with Samoa Joe, who is, an in-ring technician and a master. So you kind of have to look at it both ways. But you can't say that Baron Corbin didn't show up and didn't put on a good performance, because he did. And, Samoa Joe is an absolute beast. And I like the submission ending, and as opposed to a muscle buster ending. I like that he tapped him out with the Coquina clutch. It was definitely a good ending to that. So I enjoyed this match. I thought it was pretty good. I thought Corbin looked better than he's ever looked, and hopefully you can keep that up. It's all about putting, a guy like that in longer matches and showing what he can do instead of, 20 to 30 second matches. You can't keep doing that.
I thought this match was okay. The one problem I had with it, and I knew that this was kind of going to be a problem going into it, that I knew it was going to be Baron Corbin's longest match. And because we hadn't, up to this point, I believe, we haven't seen him wrestle for more than maybe 3 minutes tops. But I thought this match did a great job. Well, not a great job, but I thought this match went a long way in exposing Baron Corbin for what he is, and that is not a very good wrestler. I thought this match was below average, but Samoa Joe did what he could do to carry him to a good match, and I mean, it was passable. I'm not going to say it was like the worst match I've seen. It was definitely, for me, tied with the Vaudevillains, and Blake and Murphy is one of the worst matches on the show. But in retrospect, I really didn't think it was all that bad. It could have been a lot worse, but like I said, it went a long way in exposing Baron Corbin going forward, and I don't know what's next for him. I know that they have big plans for him because of his look, but I don't know if he'll be able to get by on his look alone, because he's going to have to develop some actual in-ring skills in order to do that.
Well, I just think that I just felt like this is the longest match he ever did. He finally showed what he could do besides squash matches. So, yeah. Anyways, we'll see with Baron Corbin. I feel like going to this takeover, either Baron Corbin or Tyler Breeze needs to step up and do it. So, fortunately, they got to move on and do things that I didn't see that they deserve to get a world title shot, NXT title shot too. So, anyways, next match. It was that NXT Divas match, or the NXT Championship. It was the challenger Bayley going against the champion Sasha Banks, which is a double main event. What's it called? Let's see. I'm gonna say this was one hell of a match, best match of the night so far. One of the best women matches I have seen in years. Probably better than, not better than, maybe it was better than the Trish and Lita match I saw Raw a couple of years back. But it was one of the best matches I've seen, and it was a great match. I mean, there's a spot that Bayley looked like she landed wrong, where it seemed like Sasha threw it from the top rope, and she then literally stand on the shoulder like really, really bad, like, oh damn it, what the fuck, you know? Also, that spot when Bayley was outside. Sasha had to jump over the referee, and bam, that was a freaking crazy ass fucking moment when she jumped over the top, over the referee and over the top, and landed on Bayley. That shit was crazy. And Sasha also kicked up from the Bayley to Bayley. I thought that match was over, and nope, that wasn't it. And then the finish was great. Like, she just did another one, and another Bayley to Bayley, but she did some awesome, like, was it like a side suplex thing, and then she did a Bayley to Bayley. In the match. I think that's how it ended. But I know it started with another move and then Bayley to Bayley, and that's what ended the match. And then Bayley finally become the new NXT Women's Championship. And in the end of the match, it's all the women like Charlotte, Becky Lynch, the four horsemen of NXT women. They all came out and they did their thing, and almost like a click thing, like the guy caller said earlier. I want to start with Tom. Tom, what you thought about that match? I mean, it's one hell of a women's match.
If that wasn't the best women's match I've seen in WWE and NXT in a while, I mean, it's up there. It's up there with some of the classics. I can't, like I said, it's tough to say if it was the best, but it's on par. From beginning to end, this wasn't just a great wrestling match, it was a great story. It was the story of, through so many years of Bayley coming up short and everybody surpassing her. That promo before the match was one of the best promos I've seen for a wrestling match in a while. It's such a great story, and it's such a simple one too, but it was excellent. It was excellent storytelling. The psychology in this match with Sasha Banks working over the injured wrist and injured hand of Bayley, smashing it into the steel steps when she had the Banks statement on, and Bayley was reaching for the ropes and she started kicking that injured hand. Like, it's such simple stuff, but it adds so much to the match. There's so many great moves, you know. Sasha Banks busting at a Tope Con Hello. Bayley with that freaking great reverse Rana. I said on Twitter that Kota Ibushi would be damn proud of that reverse Rana because he's definitely well known as being one of the only guys crazy enough to do that. But this was an excellent match, beginning to end. It was a great story, and you know, Bayley winning the title, it got such a huge reaction, and you know, and it's just like, for us older fans, you know, a lot of the time we know what's going to happen, but like in one of these matches, like, you get excited when Bayley wins. You're just like, it's a feel-good moment, and you're just like, man, Bayley finally did it. You know, she dethroned Sasha Banks. It's such a simple but great story, and I thought they executed everything really well. Just great stuff from this, and you know, you go from this to what we see on the main roster, and it's so depleting. It's so depleting, you know, to see these girls go out and bust their ass and put on great matches and great stories with great characters, and it's just like the difference is astounding. But really enjoyed this, love this match, and you know, it's probably the best women's match of the year, maybe one of the best women's matches in a long time. But once again, I'm going to tell people, stop saying that Sasha Banks is the best women's wrestler in history. Stop saying that this is one of the best women's matches in history. When you do that, say WWE or say NXT, because when you say that, you completely eliminate all competition. Because like I said, a lot of people haven't seen the Joshi stuff from the 90s, from the All Japan Women's, which, I'm sorry, but even these girls wouldn't be able to touch. Like Manami Toyota, I'm pretty sure would wrestle circles around Bayley and Sasha Banks. And that's no disrespect to them. It's just Manami Toyota is one of the best women's wrestlers and best pure wrestlers ever. So, I just had to get that out. But I love this match. Great stuff.
Yeah, definitely. I get your point. I mean, I don't think Sasha's the best women wrestler ever. I don't think she's there yet. I mean, there's probably some stardom chicks.
Wait till you even say
I'm
that.
planning to go to one of their shows. I'm planning to go to one of their shows when they come here in October. I'll probably go to the Sunday show, not the Friday show. But probably some of them are better than Sasha Banks. So there's no way you can say right now she's the best women wrestler of all time, or right now, you can say. But, yeah, I agree with you, Tom. Nathan, you got a comment for that match?
I thought it was a really good match. I'm not sure where I would place it quite yet on because every time they have a takeover special, there's always a really good women's title match, and I thought this one didn't disappoint, and it's kept up with the trend of having a really good women's title match on these shows. Not sure where I would rank this one, but this match was probably my favorite match of the night. And the psychology that they had during that match, I mean, Sasha hasn't been wrestling that long, but she knows how to do things that most people that have her limited experience wouldn't pick up on. So I commend her for that. As far as Tom saying people already saying she's the greatest women's wrestler of all time, that is not even true. I think the people that say that are either snorting glue or huffing paint thinner, because it's a stupid opinion to have, especially since she's, like I said, only been wrestling for a few years. And I just think that's a very bold statement. But give it time, I think she'll develop into a good wrestler. She already is. But she's just getting started. And we'll see where she goes. As far as the finish to this match, I went into it kind of figuring who was going to win, and sometimes when I think I know who's going to win, it kind of ruins the result for me, but this was such a great story that needed to be told that I'm perfectly fine with the end result and knowing pretty much what it was, even though I didn't technically know, but I just had a feeling. But I thought it was fine. I thought it was a great story, and the curtain call nod at the end was really nice. But I'm just wondering how Bayley is going to fare down on NXT now that the people that were around her in the women's division are gone, and now that she basically has to carry the entire thing on her back with a bunch of newer women. So I'm wondering how that's going to play out in the next few months and how her title reign is really going to be.
All right. If I had to guess, I have to say either Emma or Dana Brooks. That's probably the next competitor. I don't think Sasha is going to stay in NXT. They all go under the main roster. If I take a guess,
I think she'll get her rematch, and I think she'll lose. And then I think she'll go to the main roster for good.
Yeah. Probably like an NXT show, like an episode they're going to film, or maybe the next set of tapings, but I don't think a next takeover that match will happen. But in the takeover-wise, probably being like Dana Brooke or Emma. That's probably they might go with if they're going to go that route. Who knows? All right. Next match, which was the main event. Hold on. Before I mention the next match, I just want to say they also shown Seth Rollins was in the crowd, and they also shown Sergeant Slaughter, and sitting next to him was a Japanese women wrestler. I think her name was Kenya, if I'm not mistaken, Tom. I think you know.
It was Kana.
Kana, yep.
Yeah.
I hope she comes in and just kicks the ever loving shit out of everybody. Like there was rumors that she's going to be signed. Like I said, I take that with a grain of salt. But if she does get signed, I hope she just comes in and goes full on Japanese strong style and just kicks all the divas straight in the face.
And you know, people to die.
I haven't heard anything about her.
You mentioned Rollins. But when they showed Rollins, I was laughing so hard because he was with that girl that their pictures leaked online, and I was just dying laughing. I was like, why would you show Rollins with the girl that their pictures got exposed online? Like, why would you do that?
I was not gonna mention that, but you did it. But
I'm gonna mention it. Fuck it. Who cares?
It's Wrestling Heads Radio. We can talk anything we want. Fuck you all. But yeah, back to Kanye in a bit. I haven't heard any rumors that she's gonna sign, or there any talk, or was she busted Justin Lager type role? Was she only wrestled one women match and then that's it? I haven't heard anything about that. I know she was just on in the audience, but I don't know. But we'll see how. We probably find in a few weeks, if anything, if she signed or whatever. But I don't know if she signed some kind of contract with WWE yet. All right, the last match, which is the main event. Kevin Owens going against Finn Balor. And I just want to say Finn Balor's entrance was badass once again. It was like 4 of them coming out. Like, what the fuck is this shit? And then the real one came on in the middle, and then it was a great-ass entrance once again from Finn Balor. Can't wait till I see WrestleMania entrance from him. That'll be freaking awesome. But anyways, Finn Balor against Kevin Owens. What a brutal match, I'd say. It was very, very beautiful. A lot of ladder match. It was a ladder match, but a lot of like ladder usage. This was like the PG version of when Kevin Owens wrestled El Generico in Ring of Honor. But that match was more brutal than we saw on Saturday night. But it was like a PG version of that match. Man, there's a couple of crazy ass spots. Like when Balor was on the ladder, he somehow Owens bumped down and then power bombed him. as another spot where kind of like push Owens and Owens landed to another ladder and then on his back. I mean, Owens had to be sore from that. There was a lot of crazy ass spots during that match. And was that the best match of all those matches you saw them two? Maybe. I mean, it was brutal. It was definitely very brutal. But the one thing I like in the end where when Finn Balor was in the ladder, he did the Kahuta draw on Kevin Owens in the ladder while he's on the floor. That was fucking badass, and that's how you end that match. And still, your NXT champion, Finn Balor. So that means what the fuck is going to go down? I mean, that tapings when Kevin Owens was carrying the title. What the fuck was all that about? What the fuck, man? That's like something shocking to see Finn Balor walking out the NXT championship. Tom, what are you going to comment to this match?
I thought this was a good ladder match. Lot of crazy spots, you know. Of course, you know, Kevin Owens, when he gets into a ladder match, of course, he has to go fucking crazy and put his body on the line every time, which I was hoping that would stop once he got to the WWE. But the guy's a workhorse. Guy is so damn awesome. And, Finn Balor was great too. That coup de grace from the top of the ladder was nuts. I love the one part in the match when they were on the outside and Kevin Owens jammed the ladder into Finn Balor, and they looked like they were going to do a spot where Owens was going to run up to the ladder, and he backs up to the entranceway and he starts running, and then he just slows down and completely trolls everybody and then just punches Finn in the face. He's so great. Kevin Owens, say it week in and week out, and everybody says it on Twitter and on all these different social media websites, but Kevin Owens, he's just so great. He's such a great heel. He's such a great performer, you know, inside the ring and on the mic. Guy is such a great talent. But yeah, I really like this match. Like I said, I wouldn't put it as the match of the night. I figured once I saw that women's match, I knew that the ladder match wasn't going to live up to that match. It's kind of hard to follow that. I'm under the impression that the women's match should have gone on last, especially with a title change. I think the women's match should have closed the show, but I don't think it really mattered either way. It didn't take away from the show that it wasn't on last and the ladder match was on last. It didn't take away from the show, but that's just like a personal preference and opinion. I think it was still really good. It was better than the Neville Bo Dallas ladder match that they had at one of the NXT specials. That match was like just okay, but this was much better. So I liked it. You know, title stays on Finn Balor, which means we're probably only going to see Kevin Owens in NXT from time to time. So now I don't know where they go from here with the NXT title. You know, obviously Hideo Itami is supposed to be coming back soon. And, you know, I mentioned that to somebody, and it's so crazy how good this NXT special was. And they were missing two top guys. They were missing Hideo Itami and Sami Zayn. Imagine if those guys were on the show, what they could have done.
Yeah, maybe those two would have wrestled each other. Who knows? But I mean, maybe that's where they might go. They might go Hideo Itami next for the NXT championship. I think Kevin Owens is done now in NXT. He's probably gonna stay in the main roster for good now. You gotta find Ben Balor next challenger. Maybe it's gonna be Hideo Itami. Nathan, you got any comments to that match?
I really like the match. I lost most of my train of thought of what I was going to say, but I thought the match was very, very good. I really liked the finish of it, and I am glad that the supposed rumors on the internet were wrong, because to me, if Kevin Owens were to win back the NXT championship, then that would have spelled disaster for him on the main roster. So I'm glad that he didn't win it back, and I'm glad that Finn Balor was able to keep it. and it just depends where they go from here. I really like I said, I really like the match. I thought they did a great job utilizing the ladder and doing everything they could do. I almost would prefer, out of the two matches that they had, the one on July 4th a little bit more. And as far as Tom said it earlier that Bayley and Sasha Banks could have gone on last. And I think that had Owens and Balor been a normal one-on-one match, that the women's match may have. But because Owens-Balor was contested under ladder match rules, I think the booking logic there was, okay, let's put the gimmick match on last.
Yeah, definitely. All right, we're going to take a quick commercial break. Once we come back, talk NXT Summerslam and Raw, which happened earlier tonight. So we'll be right back.
Hey, this is Biff Busick, and you are listening to Wrestling Heads Radio.
Hello, pro wrestling fans. This is pro wrestler Brian Kendrick. Thank you for listening to Wrestling Heads.
This is Eli Everfly, and you're listening to Wrestling Heads Radio.
Yeah, I'm not going to put no Bowley thing, because I don't feel like playing that. Usually freaking Matt and Skids like to do that, but all I got to say is good luck to both of you guys getting your PWG ticket tomorrow night, because you guys are going to need it, because I already got all 3 nights. Skids needs night 1 and 3. And Matt needs night 2. So I wish you guys the best. If you guys are listening. Matt, if you can't get night 2 ticket, you can go to AWS Saturday night. The Juice JT Dunn will be there going against Tyler Bateman, and Willie Mack defending the title against the Greek god Papadon. You go to that show, so I just put it out there.
Oscar, I want to
right,
ask you quick. Are you planning on going to Vegas next year again for the ROH 14th anniversary show? If it's going to be held there? Okay.
Yes. I mean,
probably...
they did announce over the weekend that Ring of Honor, they're going to do the 14th anniversary in February. So all I know what is the exact date of it. So I can ask for time off, and I can start heading over there. There's a good chance I could be in Vegas twice next year, because the Ring of Honor is going to be there. Rumor has it SummerSlam might be there as well at the New MGM Arena, so I might do that too if SummerSlam does head to Vegas next year. If not, most likely it'll be back here in LA next year, so who knows. But anyways, like I said, hold on, Nathan, are you going to come back to Vegas if it happens here?
Yeah, I am. That's why I asked. I was planning on, I think me and Joe are both going to go out there, and because I want to go to Vegas again, and I'm pretty sure he does, and I think that the ROH 14th anniversary will be a great way to do it, because the 13th anniversary was so good.
Hey, you know what, Tom? Fuck it, come to Vegas too. I'm not going to have another podcast reunion. Let's add Tom in there. Fuck it, Tom. You better show up. You save your money, go to Vegas. You go too. Save your money now, motherfucker.
That would definitely be dope. Vegas would be cool. Probably, spend all my money gambling before I can even get to the 14th anniversary to buy some merch. So that would be a problem. But and it's so weird, because it's hard to predict like where a company is going to be by like 2016, because like every company changes so fast, and we don't know what's going to be with Ring of Honor by the 14th anniversary. We don't know what WWE is going to be like by like WrestleMania. It's so weird to kind of like think ahead and think like what could happen on that show.
Yeah, definitely. All right, let's talk SummerSlam here. Start off with, once again, back to my favorite review, Sheamus against Randy Orton. And once again, this match, I did not enjoy it at all. It's not the best out of those two. Maybe it was better than the Battleground match. But this time, Sheamus got the victory. Tom, you got a comment for that match?
I have to be honest here. I didn't see this match because I heard it was going on first. So I made food and I took a bathroom break because I knew this was going to be the first match. So I didn't see it.
A bathroom break in the first match. That's sweet. Nathan, you got a comment for that match?
I actually missed like the first 5 minutes of the match, and I had to go back on the network and watch it because I actually wanted to see it. And I wish I hadn't, because this match was your typical Orton-Sheamus match. There was one cool spot in the match where Sheamus slingshotted himself in the ring and got caught with an RKO, which I thought was cool. But other than that, this match was, like I said, your typical Orton-Sheamus match, nothing special, and it didn't need to happen, and I'm sick of WWE putting these two together.
Well, let's just hope this is the last time, because I'm tired of this match, too. All right, next match. The Fatal 4-Way Tag Team Champions. It was just rumored that they were going to move it to the show. Thank God they didn't do it. So it was on the show, SummerSlam. You got the champions, primetime players, going against the New Day, going against the Lucha Dragons and Los Matadores. I'll tell you this, though, Kalisto killed it in this match, going crazy, flying around. Looked like he's fighting 8 guys. Reminded me of Neo and the Matrix going against fucking a lot of Agent Smith. Yeah, Kalisto did his thing there. Matadores, you know, so they do fly around and stuff as well, but not like Kalisto. But once again, Nate, hold on. Tom, you were there, and I mean, Tom, you live in New York. What you thought that their own remix of Alicia Keys' New York, New York. It's the New York New Day. Do you feel like
New Day?
Huh?
New Day is just so damn good. Like, so damn entertaining. I was so happy they won the belts back. When they did their little like post celebration dance, that was the best thing. That could probably be the best thing on SummerSlam, was that post celebration dance that they did. So great. New Day is so great. So glad that they won the tag team titles back. The only thing that I'm worried about with New Day right now is that they're getting over as faces because they're so entertaining. As you heard tonight from Monday Night RAW, a lot of people are chanting New Day rocks. That's not how it's supposed to be. Now we're turning them face by cheering for them, and that's not what it's supposed to happen. We have to keep chanting New Day sucks. We have to keep the heel heat on them. I thought the match was okay. It got a little clunky at times and a little bit too clustered at points, and I expected that from a 14 match that wasn't an elimination match. But it was fine. A lot of each team, got their spots in, and New Day are champs once again, which is, I think, the whole point of the match, and it did its job.
All right, Nate, you got a comment on that match?
Yeah, I thought the match was okay. Like Tom said, with 4 teams, 8 guys in the match, it kind of got to the point where it was a cluster in a few spots. I don't necessarily understand the point of giving the primetime players the belts and then having them lose them a couple months later back to the New Day. And this has kind of been a trend with the tag titles as of late, where a team will win them for 2 months, or win the titles for about 2 months and then lose them 2 months later, and then it just keeps going and going like that. And I'm not sure if that's really doing anything to help the tag division, because to me it's more of a disservice to the belts. And if the belts don't look good, then the division as a whole doesn't look good. And
to be honest, me and Skid talked about the way that primetime players won the tag belts. Me and Skid felt like they just saved it for Eric Rowan and Luke Harper to take the title from them, but unfortunately Eric Rowan got hurt and had to bring the belts back to New Day.
Yeah, all right, that makes a little bit more sense then. Provided that it was pretty much, because that implies that it was pretty much damage control. But I was just going to say, with this new reign for the New Day, I really would like to see them utilize the Freebird rule, because they didn't do it in their first reign. So I'd like to see it happen in the second reign, because that is something that, I mean, the Freebirds did it. That's why it's called the Freebird rule. And then in WCW in the 90s, Bam Bam Bigelow, Dime Dallas Page, and Canyon did it. And I don't think it's been done since. So it's something that could easily be done, and it would be something fresh to a new audience that hasn't seen something like that before.
Yeah, definitely. We'll talk more New Day a little bit later. Next match, Dolph Ziggler going against Rusev.
Yeah.
It just almost like a waste of time this match, but it ended in a freaking double count out, and this feud is going to continue. By the way, Lana looks hot with a new look, with a new jean jacket and jean dress. You got anything to say about that match?
I thought the match was okay. The finish, fucking ridiculous that we have to get a fucking draw on what's supposed to be a major pay-per-view. This is TNA-style booking and WCW. This was a WCW 2000 booking right here. Doing a screwy finish like this on a major pay-per-view. You're not supposed to do that. On a minor pay-per-view or a Raw, that's fine. Okay? I can live with that. But this was supposed to be one of your biggest pay-per-views of the year, and you completely do the stupid finish. I haven't cared about this feud, and this made me just even hate that this feud could possibly even continue going forward. Oh my, like, it's so ridiculous that we had to get a freaking double count out, like I said, on a major pay-per-view. Ridiculous. And it's, you know what that means? When you do that type of finish, it basically says, okay, the whole match was a waste of time, and you just wasted your time watching it.
Pretty much.
Yeah, definitely. Hold on. We got somebody online, and it's Mr. Taylor Swift himself. What's going on?
I disagree with everybody we got to say about that match. I thought it was a good match, and I'm not upset with the finish because the finish makes perfect sense to set up for the next pay-per-view. So I don't see nothing wrong with a double DQ for...
This is a major pay-per-view. SummerSlam is being built up as one of the biggest shows of the year. You don't do that on a big show.
Also, let's not forget, they didn't have that much time to even really set up the feud. Ziggler just got back to Raw before the show. So
then end the stupid fucking feud. End it. Get rid of it. Scrap it.
I don't even think it's stupid. It's not stupid at all. I thought it think it's getting better right now.
It is ridiculous. Nobody cares about fucking Lana.
Let me ask you
no one cares about Summer Rae, and no one cares about Rusev anymore. And you know what?
I guarantee you, if you go to last week's show, I could have sworn that you praised this feud, and now you're shitting on it because of
No, go back. I said I don't care about this feud. You go back to the other episodes of Wrestling Heads on Mondays where I say I don't care about this feud. I don't care about Rusev. I don't care about this whole thing. I may have said that Rusev was funny when he threw the fish at Lana, but that's probably the most praise I've given this whole feud. You know what? And you can tell the fans are turning on Ziggler because they're starting to not care about him.
Well, from what I don't understand why you guys are. I mean, it makes perfect sense of the whole ending. The girls got involved. I mean, it's part of the feud. Like, what do you guys want? I mean, actual.
The end result is not something I want personally, because at Night of Champions, they're gonna do a mixed tag match.
Exactly.
That's where I feel it's going.
That's what happened. That's exactly what happened.
And it's going to be terrible. It's going to be horrendous.
I mean,
and if you think the match is going to be any good, then you're lying to yourself, because it's not.
I never said that. It's all about the story. Is what I'm talking about.
Said that. I'm just saying, but if people think that this match is going to be any good, then they're not.
Well, I'm just telling you right now, they're all telling a story. That's what they're doing. Fuck the match, or if you liked it or not, or didn't like the ending, they're telling the story. That's what they're doing.
Who
and
cares?
That's what they do, right?
Just because they're telling a story doesn't mean it's a good one. Just because
a movie
tells a story doesn't mean it's a good movie. It is a shit story. It is a stupid. It is another stupid love story that we've seen 10 million times in wrestling. It is nothing new. It is nothing original. It is nothing unique.
This is how I see it. If you don't like it, don't comment on it.
Well, I mean, I have to comment on it because we're on a wrestling podcast and we're talking about the pay-per-view, so I'm going to comment about the stuff that I watched. You can be critical of things because I watch these things, because I watch these pay-per-views, and I can be critical of things. I don't have to love everything on the show. I think this is shit. This feud has been shit. The finish was shit. And you know what? Nobody cares. Look back at the pay-per-view last night. Nobody cared. At the end of the match, people were booing because they were pissed, and nobody cares.
Well, like I said, decent match. Also, I mean, if no one saw that coming, it was going to be a fucking DQ either way. So either way, it was going to be a DQ. Double DQ, or it was going to be a DQ regardless, because one of those girls are going to get involved. So.
All right, let's just move on this. Next match, the tag match. You got Stardust and the Cosmic King Wade Barrett going against the Red Arrow Neville and the Green Arrow Stephen Mahler. And I'm gonna say Stephen Mahler's thing really was his selling sucked, just like Eva Marie's, but He does got a hop. I'm surprised. He does got a hop. He looks like LeBron James out there, if I saw this. And, the offense was okay. You know, that's all I could give out a little bit about in the whole little training. But he has to work on his selling. Unfortunately, Neville did all the work, and Neville and Stephen Mahal, I'm not surprised we won this. You guys got a quick comment on this match?
I'll give you a thought. I tell you, Ziggler and Russo had a better match than this one.
I was more entertained by this match because, you know what, Stephen Amell, I went in with such low expectations with the guy, and you know what, he looked all right. So maybe that's why, because I went in with like the lowest of expectations. I was like, all right, this guy's gonna botch. He is gonna fuck something up. He did decent. He actually did pretty decent. It wasn't a bad showcasing of a celebrity on this show, so I didn't mind it.
It was more like a handicap match.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but I think we kind of expected it. Like, we expected Neville to take most of the workload, but you know what sucks about this match? It just made me realize how far Barrett has fallen. I mean, look what happened on Raw tonight. Barrett has fallen so far, and it's so disappointing. I don't know where Stardust can go. I mean, that's my only gripe about this. Is just like, you have Neville is like the only guy I can see that has maybe the biggest light at the end of the tunnel, where he could have the most potential going forward. Maybe Stardust, because he's Cody's still young, but it's just like, man, Barrett is basically dead in the water.
Yeah, Nate, you guys want to comment on this match?
I don't have much to say on this match, but it was better than I thought it was going to be. I wasn't really looking forward to this match at all because celebrity involvement in WWE, especially in a wrestling ring, doesn't really pertain or appeal to me. So, they did what they could do. It was basically a handicap match because Stephen Amell couldn't do much. But he did what he was capable of doing, and they did what they could do with what they were given, and that's all that I asked for. And
it was a waste of time, basically.
It was a waste of time, but they did with it what they could.
All right.
So,
next.
Let me ask you guys a question. So you meaning to tell me you guys are putting this match over the fucking Rusev Ziggler match that actually had a real wrestling match, but then got involved?
At least this match had a clean finish.
Oh my god.
At least, and you know what?
Whatever.
Yeah, let's just move on anyways. Next match, triple threat match for the Intercontinental Championship. We got Ryback going against the Big Show and The Miz, which I say this match sucked. Did not enjoy it. Not even 1 minute of it. I mean, I didn't enjoy it at all, but I guess in the end looked like... I mean, the only thing that's just funny parts of it, like Ryback did the shell shock. Miz tried to freaking sneak in. There's a couple times he tried to sneak in and get the cheap win. Nothing going on. But unfortunately, he's still your Intercontinental Champion. Guys, got any comment for this match?
Fuck Ryback, Big Show, and Miz. That's my comment.
I agree with that. This match, talk about a waste of time. At least this match wasn't too long, but still, just talk about another thing that's fallen, that Intercontinental title. In only a couple months has fallen so far.
Yeah, the title went from Daniel Bryan to Ryback, and look where it's at now in this match. We were supposed to get this match at Battleground, I believe, and then they pushed it off until SummerSlam. I didn't want to see it at Battleground, and when they pushed it off at SummerSlam, I'm like, yeah, now I just have to sit here and wait for this match to come because I know it's going to happen. And the match happened, and I wasn't a huge fan of it. And I think I was in the bathroom most of the time, but from what I saw of it,
I was making food.
It was okay. What I saw was okay, but nothing to really say, oh, go out of your way to see this match.
I'm pretty sure that's what I said last week on the show. It's like, this was the perfect match for when you have to go to the bathroom or get some food. So, hey, props to you guys.
Next match, which this one was not that bad. The Wyatt family going against Dean Ambrose and Roman Reigns, which I like the horns with freaking Bray Wyatt. Again, just new little hoodie with the horns. I like it.
What did you expect in this match? You thought it was gonna be bad?
No, I didn't thought it was bad, but it was better than the other matches we just talked about. I like the part where I think it was Luke Harper who fucking not Luke Harper. Yeah, Luke Harper. No, I take it back. Bray Wyatt, he had Dean Ambrose's feet caught up in the second rope and he stood outside. That shit was nasty. But that was pretty cool. I also like the part when Luke Harper and Dean were battling outside, but then Roman Reigns jumped over Dean and did almost like a Superman punch from the steps. That was freaking. But there were some good moments. Missed out on. I fun. So, but me, you got in this match. Has got any comments? Match?
I just know the match started off real fast paced. I definitely enjoyed it. You know, it was good. Just like you said, that Bray spot, it was like a DDT outside the ring. I forgot on who. I think it was on Roman Reigns, and he was sleeping the whole time, and I could have sworn it was Roman Reigns because that's when everybody was Roman sleeping.
That chant was crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, I believe it was Roman Reigns.
No, it was
But,
Dean Ambrose for sure. Because the whole time, the reason why they chanted Roman sleeping because he was in the corner by himself, just laying down. That's basically why they chanted.
No, but it was a spot that I'm not sure what spot it was that made that chant. And I'm pretty sure one of you guys, Nate or Tom, can like confirm what spot was it that Roman Reigns oversold.
I'm not exactly sure.
Yeah, it's tough to remember, but I like this match. I thought it was a really solid tag match. Like you guys said, it was fast paced. It kind of got off the bat really quick and kept a good pace up. And it was good. You know, each guy got their different spots in. I always say that Luke Harper is like the most underrated and underappreciated guy in the WWE because the guy is just he's a beast. He's a monster. He can go in there and do anything and anything night in and night out. Guy definitely deserves more than what he's given, but like I said in the past, he's on TV every week, so I'm pretty sure that's good enough. But I like this. Obviously, all of our predictions were wrong. Some of us predicted Eric Rowan coming back. That didn't happen. Some of us predicted an Ambrose heel turn. That didn't happen. So it was kind of anticlimactic for me in that sense because maybe we were much and it kind of like ended.
You know what? Yeah, just like you said, like all four of those guys. My bad, on my side. If you guys hear the horns.
Yeah, we hear the sirens. Yeah.
On my side, but the table center. But yeah, like I was saying, you know, basically these four have already worked together when the Shield and Wyatt had their little feud going on. So their chemistry is already great together. And Oscar, you were right. I just saw the GIF of Bray Wyatt doing that.
Yeah. All right. Let's move on to the next match. You got champion versus champion. Title for title. You got the U.S. champion, John Cena, going against the WWE champion, Seth Rollins, with new white pants, looking like Shawn Michaels. Wow.
All I gotta say, Seth Rollins, every fucking P of the night, bro. Seth fucking Rollins pulled out every fucking move set that he's had in the Indies to his move set that he has in the WWE. He was out there just showing off, and it kind of seemed like he kind of teased a little. Face turn a little bit too. I mean, not face turn, but you know, basically that was a tease of how some of his movesets that he'll be doing when he goes face, whenever that happens. But because I know damn well he'll be doing more high flying when he goes face for sure.
Hell yeah! I mean, I feel like he had to perform like how he did because he knew that Brooklyn Cloud was not gonna fucking love Cena. They're mostly gonna cheer for him, so like, all right, fuck it, let's just have me wrestle like if I was a babyface, and just had some moments like back then when he was in the Shield. He had some great moments with the Shield, with all baby faces, and he was doing some crazy moves like jumping off that fucking stepway and all that shit. He had some great moments. I like it when every time Don Cena would try to do the AA, he fucking not on his feet. I like the whole tribute to Eddie Guerrero, the frog splash. Like that?
Oh yeah, I didn't expect that.
Yeah, I thought when he was going up to the top rope, he was going to do a 450 splash. The height he got on that frog splash, that was like an Art Bar old school frog splash, kind of like a Rob Van Dam 5-star frog splash where he gets the big height, but he had the Eddie Guerrero type, coming down. That was great. I love that.
Yeah,
but all I gotta say about Seth Rollins.
Go ahead, kid.
All I was gonna say is Seth Rollins is just like he's a whole other dude right now. Like he's definitely carrying the company for sure right now. He's got the fucking whole company on his back right now. I know John Cena's a face, but him as a champ, he's playing a great champ right now. Yeah, I'm definitely excited and. Seeing, what's his name, Jon Stewart, that's his name, right? Getting involved, that was a shocker.
Yeah. Also, John Cena in the figure 4 at Rollins trying to win the match, like, like using Ric Flair's figure before and hope that's been the thing I felt that, but you wait Cena did it. Well, anyways, unfortunately, yeah, you're right. Skitch, John Stewart got involved. You're still WWE World Heavyweight Champ, and you can see new United States Champion Seth Rollins. So he walked out with both titles.
And now I got a question.
The match before we move on.
I have a quick question for you guys. Did Seth Rollins have on his white pants tonight, or he went black?
No, he didn't wrestle. He just wore a suit.
Yep.
Okay.
I got a question.
But I do know you guys don't have to spoil me because I already know that he's gonna go get Sting, right? Just watch the shit. I already seen new Wyatt family member, and plus the Dudleys. Oh my God, Raw sounds good to me.
All right. Any guys got any comments before we move on?
Just that I hated the finish of that match, and I'm wondering if Seth Rollins is going to keep both belts going forward and defend them both like Jay Lethal is defending both the TV and ROH world titles, because this is a direct rip-off of that.
I wouldn't say it's a rip-off, because if you go back...
That's exactly what it is.
It's definitely not a rip-off. I'm going to tell you, the WWE did this shit a long time ago with the IC title and the WWE title. So if that's the case...
The timing of this works out, and it's kind of shady.
Well,
they did it right after, a couple months after ROH did it.
Yeah, you know what?
I mean, if that's the case, you could say... Some fans could say Ring of Honor is ripping off the whole Ultimate Warrior Hulk Hogan shit, too.
Well, no, because that's a title unification match is a thing that happens in wrestling. I understand that, but I'm just saying having one title unification match and then another, or a couple months later, another company doing the exact same thing looks a bit shady. Plus, with the rumors that I read about WWE supposedly telling their guys to do more apron spots is another direct ripoff of Ring of Honor, and I hate it.
I don't think it's a ripoff. I mean, how could it be a ripoff? It looks like the WWE is changing their style, period. Like, they got more...
Yeah, but they're adopting Ring of Honor style, and it's dumb.
I don't know if it's Ring of Honor style, or you can call it indie style, because the majority of the guys now signed, most of the guys coming up to the WWE main roster are all guys that came from the indies. They know that style. So I wouldn't call it a ripoff. When it comes to that spot.
I would point it more toward WWE doing more of the indie style, because apron spots aren't just Ring of Honor exclusive. Everybody on the indies and their mother does it. So I don't think it's a ripoff, but I think it's definitely Ring of Honor and the indies are influencing what WWE is doing. Like I said,
let's not forget also sorry, Tom, for cutting you off. I just want to say, let's not forget, majority of the guys that are in the WWE now that came from the indies all came from Ring of Honor. So, I mean...
Yeah.
I just think it's odd that WWE is doing this when they have a ban on concussions. They took away Seth Rollins' curb stomp. So, yes, I understand they're trying to promote safety in the ring, but telling a guy to do an apron spot and a bunch of other shit is not being safe. So it's counterproductive to what they're trying to do. And that's
I know you're a Ring of Honor guy, but it sounds like you don't like what the WWE is doing.
No, I'm not saying that I don't like what they're doing because I think they're ripping off Ring of Honor. I don't like what they're doing with the apron spots because it's counterproductive to what they're trying to do. Because when they sign a guy from the indies to NXT, they purposely slow them down to give them longevity so that they'll last. But having a guy do an apron spot...
They only do apron spots like on pay-per-views, though, if anything. They don't do it on Raw. Shit. You know, they do it like pay-per-views or like takeovers and shit. It's not like it's
I
like
saw
every
one on
night
Raw
thing.
a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, and I think apron spots can be done safely if they're done right. Obviously, it can go wrong in the case of like guys like DJ Whitmer. So it can go wrong. It's you just don't do pile drivers on the apron. That's just the thing. But going back to the Cena Rollins match, I thought it was a very good match. I didn't like the finish, even though it was shocking and all that. And hindsight, I get why they did it. You know, you bring in Jon Stewart as a guest host and you have him do something. I get that, but once again, it's a major title match. Why do you need a celebrity in there? Like, can Cena just get pinned clean? Is that so difficult? Like, they protect this guy so damn much. It is unbelievable that Seth Rollins just can't pin this guy 1, 2, 3 in the middle of the ring. Kevin Owens is lucky that he got one victory over this guy. It is astounding that he pinned John Cena clean 1, 2, 3 in the middle of the ring with no bullshit or interference, because they protect it so freaking much. So that was my only gripe with the match. Other than that, I thought it was good. I figured it was going to be good. Every time Rollins and Cena go out there, they have a good match. I like Rollins. And it sucks because like he teased the Phoenix Splash twice. He missed completely once where he landed on his stomach, and then another time he kind of rolled out of it because Cena moved out of the way. God, I want to see him hit that Phoenix Splash because that thing, it's a thing of beauty. I always pop for a good Phoenix Splash. So.
Yeah, I was hoping for that too, but it didn't happen. All right, you guys got one more comments before we move on to the next match?
I was just gonna say I liked this match a lot. I hated the finish of it because when I sat down and I watched this match, even before the pay-per-view, and before it started, I'm like, okay, Seth Rollins needs to win cleanly, and he didn't do that. And I understand that he's being a chicken shit heel, and that's completely fine, but there is a difference between you can be a chicken shit heel while being a credible champion, and his title reign has not been that good.
Yeah.
Because of all the weird finishers that he has had during his matches. And it's not his fault. It's WWE's booking and how they're going about this title reign.
Definitely. What happens? We'll talk more Seth Rollins and talk Raw, and then Jon Stewart. But anyways, next match you got the 9 women, or you say triple threat elimination tag match. You got Team PCB going against Team Bella and Team Bad. Not tell you, Team Bad got eliminated first. Then it went up to PCB and then Team Bella, but then PCB won the match. But I'll tell you some good spots about this match. There's one part Sasha was holding Becky Lynch, and Becky Lynch was carrying the ropes. Naomi jumped over her and smashed her. That shit, I thought that shit was crazy. Nikki Bella did the hardcore Holly's on Alabama Slam on Paige on the floor. That shit was badass, and Paige landed it like awkwardly. She looked like she could have been lost out of breath or one point. Got the wind knocked out of her, but that shit was freaking badass. You had the Bellas flying out, which they did a lot back then, but there's been a while since they saw them both flying out when everybody was out of the ring. I also like when Charlotte and Alicia Fox, when Charlotte pushed her to the ring to the ropes, and then when Alicia Fox bounced the ropes, they both kicked each other in the face right in the same time. I like that part. But then, PCB won the match. I actually was going for Team Bad to win this match, but they didn't do it. They were the first ones out. Then you guys any comments for this match?
I thought it was okay. It got a little it was a little clunky in the beginning when all the teams were in there. That's why a lot of the times I don't like these multi-team matches in WWE because they tend to get kind of clustered and a lot of times, spots just seem kind of like forced and kind of rushed a little bit. But once it was just Team Bella and Team PCB, it was all right. I was disappointed that we didn't get to really see a lot of Sasha Banks on SummerSlam. It really felt like she wasn't kind of, being utilized as much as like Becky and Charlotte and like Paige were. And it's like, but the crowd loves her more than all the other divas that were called up. So I was a little disappointed in that. I was surprised that Becky didn't get the pinfall. I thought Charlotte was going to get it, so that was a nice surprise. But as far as the match goes, it was okay. I thought it could have been better, but like I said, I feel like you need to give these women time, but with one-on-one matches. I feel like all these tag matches are just like kind of dragging. And then when they do one-on-one matches, they turn out to be pretty bad. Like the Sasha Banks Nikki match from last week, that was pretty bad. So it's like they need to find a good medium because these tag matches aren't working, but then when they do the singles matches, they're not working.
All right. You have some comment on this match?
I thought this match was garbage. I said on Twitter earlier today, it's like if you look at the Sasha Bayley match from NXT Takeover, that was a great match, and this match at SummerSlam was pure garbage, and I thought it was a mess, and none of these people knew what they were doing from my perspective, and it was too long, and it was just, I didn't care. I had no reason to care. And all these multi-women matches are just being used so that Nikki Bella can break AJ Lee's record. And I'm fine with her breaking her record, but I think they're going about it in a stupid way by not having her defend the title. And this match was, they tried. There was a lot of people in it, and there was a lot to do, and I just thought this match was complete trash from the starting bell to the ending bell, and I couldn't wait until it was over.
Definitely. Before we move on, just to say shout out to Skip. Thanks for calling in. Enjoy Taylor Swift. All right, next match. Kevin Owens went against Cesaro, which Kevin Owens won the match. This time he finally won another pay-per-view match since he beat John Cena. But I gotta say, this match was pretty good. I enjoyed this match. I thought it'd be better, maybe because that Owens was sore. He couldn't really move that well. Well, not. He did move some good spots though. Like there's one part where him and Cesaro were just brawling back and forth, like Owens with the punches. And then you got start going back with uppercuts, going back and forth. I like that part of in the beginning. I like the part when Cesaro was against that little apron outside. Kevin Owens took the cannonball right there. And then I also liked when Kevin Owens had Cesaro outside. He did the flip from outside the ring. I like that shit. I didn't expect that from Kevin Owens to do that shit. Also, like when Cesaro fucked the shit out of fucking Owens and he went over to the turnbuckle. I like that part as well. Also, Cesaro, fucking beast. Lift him up from the top rope and threw him while he fell back. I like that shit. The gut wrench from the middle of the rope. I like that shit. That shit was crazy. Also, Kevin Owens did a flying DDT. What kind of agility did Kevin Owens have? No one thought that Kevin Owens had that agility going in. And yes, Cesaro doing the swing at Owens. Don't forget about that. He did that. But yeah. And then also that part with Michael Cole saying, is that when he was like yelling out, "No, when you know that move that Kevin Owens does when he lifts your leg up and he drops you? Well, he did start with that. That was awesome. And I'm happy that Kevin Owens won the match. And yeah, guys, what you guys thought of that match?
I thought it was a very, very good match. Obviously, going into it, I figured it was going to be one of the best matches of the night, if not the best match. These guys just went out there and killed it. I was surprised that Owens did go over. I thought Cesaro was going to win. But like I said last week, it's like one of those matches where I don't care who won. I was just predicting as far as predicting. If Cesaro won, great. If Owens won, great. So it didn't really matter who won to me. But these guys went out there and killed it. And like I said, when we were talking about TakeOver just before, Kevin Owens, the guy is an absolute workhorse. I don't know how he does it. He the night before he was in that brutal ladder match against Finn Balor, and he comes out the next night and puts on the clinic with Cesaro. Like, how is this guy able to do it? And and it's funny because everyone always talks about Kevin Owens and what he looks like and his weight and all that. It's like, but this guy can go out there and wrestle great each and every night. So it's like, who gives a shit? He's one of the best guys on the roster. It's so great to see him there because I feel like he adds so much now to the WWE roster. And, like I said, the guy deserves it. And it's great to see. And these two went out there and put on a great match. The crowd loved it. The crowd was into it. This was one of the few matches, I would say, minus the Brock Taker match. This was the match that people were most heavily into as far as the crowd was. People were loving the different spots. People were loving all the different moves that these guys were doing. And they loved each guy. It was a big pop for Cesaro and a big pop for Kevin Owens. So definitely a very good match.
All right. Nathan, you got something to comment before we go into the main event?
I thought this match was really good. This was the match I was most looking forward to on the show, and it definitely delivered to my expectations. The issue I had going into this match was Kevin Owens just lost a feud to John Cena, and Cesaro, they haven't really been doing much of anything with him since Tyson Kidd got injured. So I remember thinking that whoever lost this match was going to be hurt by it, by a great margin. And I'm glad to see that Kevin Owens won, but I'm wondering what's going to happen with Cesaro and what they're going to do with him, if they're going to push him again, and where he's going to go and end up. So I don't want to see him fall down the card and not be utilized the way he should, because the guy is super talented and deserves more than he is getting right now.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Let's see what happens with Cesaro. I mean, I still think he could be used more. I don't know. It could be a continuation between him and Owens, but we'll see. All right. Next match was the match everybody's waiting for. The rematch at 8:30. Undertaker going against Brock Lesnar. And start off pretty physical. As soon as Undertaker got in, still had his jacket on. Brock Lesnar straight out went after him. Still attacking with his jacket on. And then there's one spot where he had Undertaker outside the ring, and then he fucking F5s him through the table already. Undertaker gave Brock Lesnar a tombstone. He kicked out of it. And once again, like he did last year, he got up like the Undertaker and started laughing, meaning Brock Lesnar. And then Undertaker got up. He looked at him and he started laughing too. I think that was just funny. I think after all that, Brock Lesnar and he gave him 2 F5s in a row. He still kicked out of it. So basically, 3 F5s, nothing. Also, he did the Hell's Gates, then Brock Lesnar reversed it to the Kimura lock, but the confidential ending. It looked like from one angle the referee was shaking Brock Lesnar's shoulders, and the other angle, the timekeeper saw the Undertaker tap out. The Undertaker really did tap out the first time in his 25-year career. But what happened was the ring a bell. The guy rings the bell, rang the bell. Referee was confused, like what the hell is going on? Like he did not say the end of the match. You know, it was not his call yet. Brock Lesnar thought he won the match, but from behind, Undertaker low blows him, does the Hell Gate, and then Brock Lesnar could not respond from the passed out. He flipped him off, and then Brock Lesnar passed out, pretty much like with Steve Austin and Bret Hart's match from WrestleMania 13. He would not respond, and yeah, Lesnar was busted open during the match, but not bad like Steve Austin was. And that's how Undertaker won the match in a controversy way. And yeah, he won by submission. He's walking the ring from the apron, and then once again people saw him collapse. And yeah, Undertaker won the match. Guys, you guys have got any comments for this main event match?
Yeah, this was so much better than the WrestleMania 30 match. Obviously, Taker wasn't concussed, a couple minutes into the match of this, so that's obviously probably why this one was so much better. But so much going into this match, and I going into this, I said for weeks and weeks I wasn't looking forward to this. I didn't care about this. And I still felt that going into it, but I really did enjoy the match. Some of the great stuff in here, like Lesnar is such a beast, and Taker's great. He's a legend. Obviously, the spot that everyone's talking about is when both guys were down. It was after, I believe, a tombstone, and Lesnar kicked out, and Lesnar sits up, looks over at Taker, starts laughing, and then Taker looks up, and Lesnar's still laughing, and then Taker gives creepy, the creepiest laugh I've ever seen in my life. He just starts going, ah, ha, 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 and they just start wailing on each other as they're sitting down. They start beating the shit out of each other. So great. I think Brock being busted open added to the match as well, just like the WrestleMania 31 match of Roman Reigns. It adds to the match. It makes it feel like a fight. It makes it feel like I don't want to say more real, but I guess that could be the case, that like I said, it feels more real, feels more natural. So I like this. The finish confused, I can't say I hated it because it confused me. Because you had the timekeeper ring the bell, but it wasn't the ref's decision. So then they reversed the decision. And then they had Taker win. It was all mumbo jumbo, and obviously they were doing it so that each guy looked strong still. That Lesnar still looked strong, but he got screwed, and Taker, can still kind of look strong because the ref didn't see him tap. I loved when Lesnar was in the Hell's Gate, and as he's passing out, he just flips off Taker before passing out completely. Great stuff. Finish, like I said, I can't say I hated it. It just confused me. I can see why they did it. But still, I think it was a really good fight. Good stuff here from Taker and Lesnar.
I thought this match was really good, a lot better than their WrestleMania 30 match. Like Tom said earlier, it's like the Undertaker didn't get concussed this time, so the match was a lot better. It was very reminiscent of the old style Taker-Lesnar matches from their original feud. I thought it was great. The match all around was great. I absolutely hated the finish. This was too instant. instances with the Seth Rollins-John Cena match and the Taker-Lesnar match, two really good matches with two absolutely terrible finishes. And I know that they had to do something in order to plant the seeds for a third match, because that's where this is going. I just think they could have gone about it a better way. But we'll see where it goes and how their third match plays out and where it takes place, because that's the one thing that I'm really interested in finding out is where they're going to do this match.
All right, well, I was saying this is kind of setting up a third Brock Lesnar-Undertaker match prior to WrestleMania. But we'll see where it goes. But, all right, before we go to Raw, I know we're going to go overtime on this. It was like a lot of talk about during the show. Usually we end the show at this time. You know what? Let's go a little bit of overtime here. Let's take a little commercial break, and we'll talk Raw, then we'll end the show. We'll be right back.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Chris Hero, and you are listening to Wrestling Heads Radio.
This is the Juice JT Dunn, and you're listening to Wrestling Heads Radio. This is Josh Alexander.
And Ethan Page.
We are the Monster Mafia.
And you're listening to Wrestling Heads Radio.
Yeah, well, we're back, and what a freaking Raw. We had to talk about this even on overtime. We had to talk about Raw. Raw was pretty good today. I enjoyed it. How you guys enjoyed Raw tonight before we talk about Raw? Tom, what you thought about Raw?
I thought Raw was actually pretty good. There were some points where, and this happens with every Raw, but it kind of loses my attention or it'll get kind of boring. But there was a lot of surprises, some good matches on here, and that's the thing. It's there was a lot of stuff jam-packed into the show that we're going to remember. So I definitely really enjoyed this Raw. All the stuff that was going on, all the shocking stuff, all the surprises. Some of the matches were good, but still, there were still some negatives thrown into this Raw as well.
Yeah, definitely. Nate, what you thought of Raw tonight?
I really enjoyed it. It was 3 hours of really good wrestling for the most part, some good substance, and some good setup for what's to come in the coming months. After SummerSlam is usually when things start to fall off for me, and I'm not sure how this is going to go because Night of Champions time, Hell in a Cell time, we're heading towards what's considered to be one of the worst times for the company, and I'm hoping that at least it's somewhat decent and not to the point where it was pretty much unwatchable around this time last year.
Yeah, definitely. All right, let's just start off with Raw. Brock Lesnar came down with Paul Heyman. Basically, just want to know what happened last night. They're telling the crowd he missed SummerSlam. This is what happened last night. How the hell he got to this losing after making the Undertaker tapping out. How in the hell ended up in the regular was he lost the match? Well, basically, the whole point was he just wanted it. But Paul Heyman pretty much called the Undertaker. They can have a match tonight on Raw. They're not going to wait for WrestleMania. They want it on Raw tonight. But unfortunately, they didn't get the Undertaker. They got freaking Tom's favorite wrestler, Mr. Bo Dallas, came down. He basically came down and says that, he got some good news and bad news and all this stuff. And, basically bad being smart ass. When he wakes up, he had a dream. Then he thought you would beat the Undertaker, but you didn't. And basically, Next time, all you gotta do is you gotta bow leave, and then Brock Lesnar just beat the shit out of him, and fucking take him to Suplex City like 7 times or 6 times, and you add an F5 to it, and that's how you start off Raw. Brock Lesnar just destroyed Bo Dallas. Tom, I know he's your favorite wrestler. What you thought of all that?
I thought it was great stuff. The Paul Heyman promo was obviously another. It's Paul Heyman, so it's going to be a great promo each and every week. And Lesnar just stood there like the beast that he is, so he didn't have to say much. I was pretty shocked that Bo Dallas came out. Like, if you would have told me that a superstar was going to Brock Lesnar, Bo Dallas would have been last on my list. And what's funny about Bo is that he's not getting like pushed, but you think about like what he's been doing. Like, he got attacked by Sting, and he's been doing all this other stuff as well. Like, when someone needs to beat down, Bo's there, and he does it with all these like legends and top guys in the company. So I think that's funny. Like I said, it was a different start to Raw. It wasn't a 20-minute authority promo. It was a quick promo by Heyman, and then you saw Brock Lesnar just throw Bo Dallas around the ring like it was nothing. So I liked the start of Raw. It was something different. It wasn't a match, but it was something different and fresh.
Yeah, I really liked the start of Raw as well. When Raw first started, I was getting ready to tweet, oh, and here comes the Authority, and then that obviously didn't happen, so I had to delete what I was tweeting and then think of something else to say. Because whenever Raw comes on, I'm programmed to automatically think that the Authority is coming out, and I'm sure that I'm not the only one, because we're all sick of the Authority and they need to go away. They should have never came back after they were disbanded last year at Survivor Series, because it made that entire match meaningless. But that's WWE's problem of they always have to have an authority figure on screen, and that drives me nuts. But at least we didn't get that this week, and the opening of the show was a pleasant surprise, and it was something fresh.
Yeah, definitely. All right. I just start off with the opening match. It was the New Day. Once again, remixing another classic New York song from Frank Sinatra. Excuse me. New York. Instead of New York, they mentioned what? New Day. Once again, Tom, disrespecting your city, New York City. But he pulled it off. But he pulled another funny one to your city, New York, Tom. But going to the match, I think it was pretty cool. I mean, New Day and the Lucha Dragons, I like what they did, but unfortunately, New Day won the match. I forgot to mention Kalisto once again going crazy on these two guys, but unfortunately, New Day match, and yeah. But then after they won the match, it was the return of a tag team you haven't seen in 10 years. Ladies and gentlemen, the Dudley Boyz, yes, they made their return. And then they came down and attacked the New Day. And Bubba Ray, Devon did the whole what's up thing again, like we used to see him. And Bubba told Devon to get the tables. He got the tables. And they 3D Xavier Woods the table. And after they did the 3D and all that, he went outside and got in the faces of the primetime players. And this shows you the Dudley Boyz are back to WWE Raw. And there will be an action this Thursday on SmackDown. So, guys, what you thought of the match and the return of the Dudley Boyz?
I thought the match was good. I think New Day and Lucha Dragons have good chemistry, and if you give them a pay-per-view match with a good amount of time, they can put on an even better match. Sin Cara, for some reason, it looks like he's doing okay, but to me, he just looks like he doesn't, like, give a shit anymore. Like, Hunico just doesn't give a shit anymore. You see Kalisto, whenever he's doing the Lucha chant, he's going full force. And Sin Cara is just kind of like, Lucha, why am I here? And in the ring, he just doesn't look as motivated as Kalisto. And that's the difference, is that Hunico is an older veteran, where Kalisto's brand new, and he wants to prove himself. And he wants to, he's excited to be there. So that's just something I noticed. But the Dudley freaking return came out of nowhere. At first, I thought it was Neville, because Neville's pyro is kind of like the same. It wasn't the bomb sound like we're used to with the Dudleys. So that's why I thought it was Neville at first. I was like, what the fuck is Neville doing out here? And then when the Dudley Boyz music hit, I kid you not, I marked the fuck out. I'm not ashamed to say it. I marked the fuck out. I was like, holy shit. And listen, I'm not the only one, but when Bubba Ray when he goes 1, 2, 3, and everyone went get the tables, I might have said get the tables out loud in my house because I was marking out. So it was great, to see the Dudleys from WWE once again. Bully Ray, he was one of the high points in TNA for so long. Bully Ray, he looked great. He was like in the best shape of his life, one of the best characters. And he really, I think he carried the company for a lot of the BS that they were going through. So it's great to see now that they're back in WWE and they're on a bigger stage and they don't have to deal with the whole TNA situation, and they can just, go out there and get back into the swing of things. So definitely, like I said, I marked out for the What's Up. I marked out for the 3D through the table, which I was surprised. I didn't think that they were going to do a table spot. I thought they were just going to do a regular 3D. So it was cool to see the tables come out once again. So excited to see the Dudleys back. Definitely very cool. And I think it definitely points to that it was supposed to be a Luke Harper and Eric Rowan versus Dudley feud, but because of Eric Rowan's injury, that didn't happen. That's kind of like what it looks like to me, but everybody, like I said, everybody was marking out. My Twitter blew up. People were texting me. One of my buddies was actually at the show, and he was like, can you fucking believe this? And I was like, I can't believe what I'm watching. So great to see them back in there. And you know what? It's such a shame that Edge had to retire so early. And I know Christian's kind of on the same path because, I would have loved to see those guys and maybe get the Hardys back in just like one more time. I'm not talking about a ladder match, but just get them in the ring one more time.
Well, Edge and Christian will be in a future episode of the Steve Austin podcast. They didn't mention that it's going to happen sometime in the fall, so be aware of that. Nathan, you got any comments of the match and the Dudley Boyz?
I really enjoyed this match. I thought Kalisto did a great job, as he always does, flying around the ring and doing everything that he does. There's not much I can say about the New Day that I haven't already said. I think they're great. And the Dudley Boyz coming out was a huge surprise. I didn't mark out probably as much as Tom did, but I thought it was great. And I'm really happy to see both those guys back in a company that is not dying.
Yeah, and it's funny, just a few weeks ago, I saw Bubba Ray or Bully Ray in TNA. Then he got attacked, and then he would never appeared the last few weeks until Judge Jerry took his authority thing away from him. And then now you see him in WWE, and he's returning to WWE, and let's see what happens. Like I said, they're back full time with them. I don't know how's their contract situation. I don't know if they're there just for a bit. But yeah, the Dudley Boyz are back, and we'll see if they'll get another tag team title run. And we'll see. We'll see if it'll be a WrestleMania. Who knows? But yeah, we'll have to wait and see. All right. There's a backstage segment. They showed how the statue of Seth Rollins will look like. That will presentation later on the night. Show a little bit of it. The USL looks crappy on that statue, but that's how it is. Also, I got to say, let me see what else happened. The next match after that was, I believe it was the tag match rematch from last night. You had it was Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose going against the Wyatt family, which is, I feel like it was the same yesterday, but a different finish. Unfortunately, Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose won by DQ, but a new Wyatt family member came out, but this guy was super huge. This guy was like, he looked like, what's his name, Ogre from the Revenge of the Nerds? Something like that with massive steroids. This guy was humongous. And he had a beard just like Bray Wyatt. He was all fucking huge. And he just fucking, like, Roman Reigns tried to do the Superman punch. He just grabbed him and just threw him in the corner and threw him off like nothing. He threw him high and threw him nothing. And then there was a point I think Dean Ambrose kicked him. He did not feel the effects. He just beat the shit out of both of them. And he also lifted up Roman Reigns' one arm. Roman Reigns is a big dude. He just lifted up and did some kind of like a spin move and just slam on the floor. The guy, the Black Sheep, this guy was humongous and destroyed both Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose. So, guys, what you thought of that match and the debut of this new Black Sheep dude?
I thought the match was okay. I didn't really expect anything really different from last night. A lot of it was a carbon copy of last night, a lot of the same spots, a lot of the same moves. But what shocked me the most, obviously, was the ending and seeing Strowman, who's, from NXT, who he didn't even debut on NXT. He was just doing house shows. What's his full name? Braun Strowman?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I knew of him, and I knew he was going to be something like big because of his size. Yeah, the guy is monstrous. He's got to be like 6'10", 6'11", over 300 pounds. Pretty sure Vince McMahon, that was his birthday present, was getting him on the main roster. But I was really surprised because we really haven't seen anybody in a long while kind of skip over NXT. This guy's really only been doing house shows and stuff like that. And, he wasn't on NXT. So he just skipped right over and went to the main roster, which is something we haven't really seen in a couple of years. I can't really remember the last time somebody really skipped over developmental TV and hopped right on the main roster. I can't really...
was probably the last one.
Yeah, probably. But that's, like I said, this was shocking. It came out of nowhere. I did not see this coming. So, like I said, some surprises can be good. We'll see how this pans out. He definitely fits into the Wyatt family. But like I said, we don't know what he can do in the ring because we haven't seen him on NXT, so it's kind of like a mystery at this point.
Yeah, definitely.
I think that's part.
Go ahead, Nathan.
I was just going to say, I think that's part of the intrigue with this guy, that we don't know what he can do. And given his size, I'm not sure he can do that much. But I'm not going to say that he can't do that much, given that I haven't seen him wrestle. And the fact that he's being able to skip over NXT entirely. I mean, he did some house shows with NXT. Otherwise, he's a complete unknown because he was never, like, you've never seen him on the WWE Network. We don't know who he, or most people don't know who he is. So if WWE didn't have complete confidence in this guy, I don't think they would put him on the main roster right away. So this guy must be pretty good in order to be able to skip developmental. And if he totally sucks, then I'm just going to kind of scratch my head and be like, well, okay, why did they let this guy bypass developmental?
All right. We only have a few minutes left, but let me just skip a couple of things. Yes, Dean Bellas beat PCB earlier today. Stardust, Mr. Lacey attacked Wade Barrett, and then he ran away from Neville. That happened. Jon Stewart explained why he attacked John Cena, all because he doesn't want John to tie the record of Ric Flair. Ric Flair came out and said he was okay. I mean, he respects John Cena. If he does it, oh well, you know, there's no shame to it. But then John Cena came out and did the AA on Jon Stewart. Also, I just wanted to see other matches that came on. The 8-man tag, which Ryback, Dolph Ziggler, Cesaro, and Randy Orton defeated Rusev, Kevin Owens, Big Show, and Sheamus. And in the end, Big Show did not help out Sheamus because he accidentally punched him. Rusev and Owens attacked Big Show, and then the other team came out and attacked the Big Show, and that was the end of that match. John Cena gets on the Seth Rollins later on today, and we'll see what happens. Then security came out and escorted John Cena out of the building because they didn't want to interrupt the statue of Valerie. Seth Rollins came out with with both the belts, and they're gonna do a statue of elimination. Then out of nowhere, another legend came out. Instead of the statue, another legend came out, and that was Sting. He had returned, and then he attacked Seth Rollins. And then, fortunately, he comes out, attacks Seth Rollins. Rollins went outside. Sting grabbed the WWE title and just lets him the message he wants a title shot. After Raw on the network exclusive, Triple H announced that the main event of Night of Champions, it will be Sting, first time ever, getting his WWE title shot against Seth Rollins. Guys, real quickly, what you guys thought of all that? And then what you guys thought of the main event of Night of Champions?
I had a feeling it was going to be Sting under there. Some people said Kane was going to be under there. I'm glad it wasn't Cena. I'm pretty sure this is like the first time in WWE TV history where someone has been arrested and they haven't shown back up on TV later that night. So I found that kind of funny. It's definitely intriguing to see Sting versus Rollins. You know, Sting headlining a WWE pay-per-view, going for, the WWE Championship is definitely something of interest. Right now I don't know how to kind of feel about it. I guess it's okay. I'll see how they build up to it before I can make a rash opinion on it. But it's something intriguing. It's something new. And if they're going to do this match, if they're going to do this match, Rollins has to go over clean, which is kind of sucky because it's they brought in Sting and he loses at WrestleMania to Triple H clean. Well, not really clean because of all the interference, but he lost 1, 2, 3. And so you're going to have him lose to Rollins and go 0-2 in WWE. It's kind of a sucky thing for Sting, but we'll see. I'll see how this feud kind of progresses throughout the weeks to see more of an opinion on it. Right now, it just seems like it's okay. I don't have too much of a problem with it.
Well,
before
Nate comment, I just say I hope Sting wins somehow by DQ and it continues on at Hell in a Cell, because that's all I have to say. Sting could win a match by DQ, then he'd probably lose at Hell in a Cell against Rollins, but we'll see. But go ahead, Nate. Make it real quick. We got to end the show.
One thing I don't like about this match, and I'll make this quick, Sting has only had one match in WWE. He lost. And the fact that he's getting a title shot really bothers me, because he hasn't beaten anybody. And that's one of my problems with WWE, is because they hand out title shots like they're candy, and you don't have to earn them. And this match being set up is case in point on that theory. And we know who's going to win. Seth Rollins is going to win somehow. I hope he wins cleanly, because he needs that. But I'm really questioning the booking of this match, because Sting hasn't beaten anybody, and I'm wondering why this match is being booked. I'm willing to give it a chance and see how it plays out, but right now, as it stands, I'm not too thrilled with it even happening.
All right, you know what? I see it now. Sting wins by DQ. It goes a rematch at Hell in a Cell, and I will be there, and I'm going to see Sting lose. I'm going to be 0-4 Sting, because I saw him lost twice in TNA, and I saw him lost, and it's going to happen again at Hell in a Cell. That's what I have a feeling that's what's going to happen. So I'm going to see Sting lose for the fourth time. All right, let's just end the show. Just give out real quick plugs. I'm going to just follow us at Wrestling Heads. Follow me at Sinister63. If you haven't, buy our T-shirts at ProWrestlingTees.com/WrestlingHeads. You can follow us at Instagram, Periscope. We have all that stuff. You just follow us there. Like I said, you can follow me at Sinister63 at all the social medias like Twitter and Periscope and Instagram. You can follow me there too. And Tom, give out your plug and do it real quickly, dude.
Yep, you can follow me on Twitter at @2tweetme. It's my personal account. Make sure you follow Skip at WHSkip. Make sure you're following the Wrestler Elite Podcast Network at Elite Podcast Net. Tomorrow and Wednesday, Indie Power Rankings. Wrestling Heads is back on Thursday. And, yeah, that's it. Nathan, go ahead.
You can follow me on Twitter at Headliner5. Follow Eyes on the Ring at Eyes on the Ring. We did not have a show last night because of some fuckery with Blog Talk Radio. So hopefully that'll be sorted by next Sunday. And I just want to thank you guys for having me on and being able to say what I wanted to say, because most of the stuff I said tonight I was going to say last night, so that's why I wanted to make sure to call in. But also just visit eyesonthering.com. I wrote a 10-page review of TakeOver Brooklyn, so you can check that out. And also my Ring of Honor TV review from this last Saturday that aired the same day as TakeOver Brooklyn. So check that stuff out. And that's all I really have to say. Follow me on Twitter at Headliner5 and just keep up with everything that the Elite Podcast Network is doing.
All right, everybody. I guess till Thursday, we are out. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.